Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fogcast. My name is Thomas,
My name is Jonathan.
and today we have a special guest, and it's our dad.
Hi, guys.
We'll be getting into some Dead by Daylight Mobile today with him. First up is the Shrine for this week. This week on the Shrine, we have Botany Knowledge, Shadowborn, Up the Ante, and Thrilling Tremors. Not very strong perks on the Survivor side this week, but if you're going to go for one over the other, I would pick Botany Knowledge just because it speeds up. It increases the effectiveness of healing items in the game, and that can be really useful in tight situations. And on the killer side, I'm going to have to go with Thrilling Tremors because it's a super useful perk where if you pick somebody up as the killer, all the generators nearby get blocked off if they're not being worked on, so you can take a look around and see which generators are currently being worked on, and it'll help you locate survivors and also delay them from getting those generators. Alright, so getting into the episode. We're going to be talking about Dead by Daylight Mobile and our experiences with it. So, Dad, you played Dead by Daylight Mobile for the first time yesterday. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a lot of fun. It is difficult. I find moving around takes some time to get accustomed to the movements, where all the buttons are, and I think when you guys play, and I've watched you play on the gaming systems, of course it's much easier, I think, because you have the joysticks,
Right.
and I think everybody's used to that.
And you haven't played on the console yet, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did as good a job as they could transferring such a complex game onto a mobile device, but it's going to be pretty difficult. It has a tight learning curve if you really want to spend a lot of time in it.
Dead by Daylight Mobile, in my opinion, it is really fun for someone who maybe wants to play the game, has been watching someone for a while, and they don't have the money to get the game or to get a console. It's fun to be able to play it. Is it easy? Not really. It's kind of difficult to move around, to look around,
To get skill checks.
to get skill check. Yeah, those are weirdly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it is a lot of fun. And the only other problem is you have to buy like everything, like every single character. You start off with just it's Meg and Dwight. And then you can unlock certain characters. You can unlock Claudette. You can unlock Jake, I think. But then pretty much every other survivor you have to buy with RXLs. Or you can save up the iridescent shards, which it's 9,000 per character, which is a lot. And same with the killers. You get the Trapper, you get the Hillbilly.
You don't even get the Hillbilly off the bat. You have to play a game as the Trapper first to get him. But it's all different on mobile. They kind of tried to optimize it for a more mobile experience so that it's more accessible, especially since it's free.
Yeah, as an outsider or someone who does not play the game on a console, it was difficult, but because I got to play with my three sons and we all went in at the same time, it was really enjoyable. And the graphics are great. I liked the play. It was fun. But if you're a very serious player, I could see where it would not be fun. I enjoyed it because I knew I was getting killed every time. And I was probably the first one out of every game, except for one, I think. Somebody opened the gate.
We got him out once.
But it is fun if you're playing with a group of people and there's, you don't have the console. I did enjoy it. We did have a lot of laughs while we were doing it.
If you take it too seriously, you're not going to have fun. Like, if you're a rank 1 on console or on PC, and you're used to just juking killers and being super good at the game, it's going to translate somewhat onto mobile, but it's not going to fully translate. You just have to go into it wanting to have a good time. Like, yesterday, me and my brothers and my dad got on, and it was just fun to play, all of us in the same room, having a good laugh.
Yeah, it's definitely worth downloading and taking a look at. I mean, I've seen the graphics on TV, on the gaming system, and I've seen them here for an iPhone, which is what I'm using. Fantastic. I think the graphics look great. I didn't have problems moving around, except for the fact that working the controls for me was a little difficult. But it's good gameplay. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played on an iPhone.
Bold statement. A few changes that are kind of different on the mobile version is there's no blood web. It's a blood market, I think they call it, and it's kind of like you buy stuff from a row, buy items and offerings from a row, and then it goes down, you unlock the next row, and then it keeps going down and the items get better and better. And you level up each character by actually playing as them. So whereas on the PC and console you throw blood points into the blood web to level up the characters, you actually gain experience as each individual character. So if you want to level up Meg, you have to play as Meg, or if you want to level up the Trapper, then you have to play as the Trapper.
And a few other things with the blood market is it's like the row you have, you can only unlock a certain amount. So to unlock the next row, you have to buy like 1 or 2 items from the first row. And then once you unlock the second row, you can't buy anything else from the first row. Another thing about the blood market is there's actually random items, like they're like, I don't know what they're called, they're like super random items, and you can get iridescent shards.
Right, I noticed that.
I thought that was pretty cool. They do cost like 30,000 blood points, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, with the blood market, I understand what Tom is saying. He actually came over to my phone and just started buying things like crazy. I had no idea what he was buying, but it was still interesting to have some of these
I was only
items.
buying the effective things. I knew what to buy, so I went over and bought them for him.
He was trying to help me. I'm just pretty bad at playing. But yeah, it is a fun game. I would suggest if you're playing this on console, I would suggest you get this. It was a lot of fun to just kind of sit down with a few people and play.
If Dead by Daylight Mobile is your first time playing Dead by Daylight and you don't do so well, I wouldn't let that turn you away from the game. If you really want to play it, then play it on console or PC, because that's where you'll get it at its fullest potential. But Dead by Daylight Mobile is a worthy on-the-go alternative to the game. One more important point about optimization on mobile is that they made everything on Dead by Daylight Mobile visual, so you can see the heartbeat. It's kind of like an X-ray of the heart within the character that you're playing as, so you can see the heartbeat. You can play Dead by Daylight Mobile on mute, and you would be able to manage to make it... Well, that's our dog trying to break down the door. You can play Dead by Daylight Mobile on mute. So you could basically play the whole game on mute because everything is visual. You can see when you're within range of a generator that's being worked on. It gives you a visual indication of which direction it's in. If you get a killer like the Huntress, you get the best way to describe it is like when you get shot at in Call of Duty and it kind of has like that little red ring pointing towards where you got shot from. You can hear that before you see the Huntress. So it's very visual optimized.
Yeah, that made it easier for me. I thought, and again, not being a console player, I've played games on console in the past. Of course, I find it much easier with the joystick. There were a lot of cues in this game that really helped out, like Tom was saying about the heartbeat. You knew when they were close, and I didn't need to have my earbuds in to know that the killer was close. I think they did a pretty good job on this thing. It was definitely enjoyable.
And that brings up an interesting mechanic point. I haven't run into it yet, but if somebody's running Huntress Lullaby, I wonder what it looks like when you get a skill check when Huntress Lullaby is maxed out. Because in the console version, there's no audio cue for the skill checks when Huntress Lullaby is maxed out. But on the iPhone or on Dead by Daylight Mobile, there's whenever a skill check is about to pop up, a little timer kind of loads up so you know that it's coming. You see that it's coming before you hear it. So I wonder if that still comes up when that happens. Those are some of our preliminary thoughts on Dead by Daylight Mobile. It's good for a good time if you just want to have fun with the game.
I definitely agree with that.
We're going to have to get Dad here on Dead by Daylight console sometime soon so that we could have a pretty funny video, a YouTube video about that and see how that goes. I'm curious to see if you find it easier to use the controller, which it probably will be.
Yeah, I imagine it will be. I mean, let's face it, that game is, and I've watched you guys play this a lot on console. It's pretty. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of complex things going on, and doing it with a phone, there's challenges there. But they made this for the phone, and it will work. It does work. I would like to see myself how I would react or how I would work on a console. Maybe one of these days, though. I can get on there.
And just one final note, Dead by Daylight Mobile was very recently released, so it's still in pretty early stages, so it can only get better from here, and future updates will just optimize possibly the controls and the interface and everything that comes along with the game.
Well, one of the things, too, and I think maybe you can share with your listeners, is you try to put your Xbox controller and remote, use that on your phone. And how did that work?
The Xbox controllers, the new ones have Bluetooth, so you can connect. I know you can play Fortnite on there, the Fortnite mobile, but the controller, it either isn't optimized for Dead by Daylight Mobile yet. I was able to connect it up, and it didn't work on the main menu, but it did work slightly in the game. I was able to move around, but I could only walk, and I couldn't look around. I couldn't move the camera around with the right joystick. So they either need to add like optimization for it. I'm not sure how that works, or just add like a controller binding layout so that you can bind the buttons to different actions.
Yeah, that would definitely be a game changer there if you could connect a controller to your phone and play. That would probably make it a little bit easier to move around and do things.
Yeah, for sure.
Dead by Daylight Mobile is a lot of fun. If you're bored, especially during quarantine, give it a try. Text your friends, be like, hey, let's download this game, play a few rounds, and we can just have some fun.
Now, since I've played, does that mean I will see people in the fog?
Yeah, sure. You could see people in the fog.
Thanks for listening, and stay safe out there in the fog.